How you doing? My name is Jose and today I talk to you about the new Molecule 01. I'm gonna be honest, and Molecule 01 is a fragrance that you are not gonna probably smell it. The name of the fragrance is already telling you what's in it, and in this case is just one molecule. And the name of this molecule is called E Super. And the function of this molecule is pretty much to make the fragrance last. That's all I have to say about E Super. So if you're a lucky guy and you can smell the woody vibes that it has for the first time, let me tell you something, and it's a win. But don't be alarmed, if you're a person that just got into fragrances and you're buying a Molecule 01 and you don't smell it, I'll be honest, keep using it. The more that you use it, you're gonna train your nose to smell the woody vibes. This woody vibe is almost like cedarwood. This fragrance is only based on the E Super, which is a completely synthetic molecule. It's actually not natural. Eccentric molecules, it's a house that are more for molecules. They are synthetic fragrances. In this case, Molecule 01 is a fragrance that it can do all. It's a fragrance that you can use it either in a date, either going to school or going here, going there. Well, not exactly, because it's a fragrance that you're gonna use for doing layering. Well, it's a fragrance that you're gonna do layering with. It's a fragrance that, for example, you have Star Walker for Mont Blanc, and that fragrance, let's be honest, it doesn't last long. But if you apply Molecule 01 as your base and then you apply Star Walker, you're gonna make Star Walker last longer. So it's a fragrance that pretty much smells woody. It's a fragrance that if you use it on your own, it's going to depend on your pH of your body. So my advice is, if you are not getting long durability from fragrances and you're looking for something that can make your fragrances last longer, I'm gonna tell you, go ahead and buy Molecule 01. Either if you're a young dude or an adult person, it's a fragrance that it doesn't bother in the collection. But recently, Eccentric Molecules launched flankers from 01. You have a Mandarin version, you have a Patchouli version, and you have an Iris version. So let's start with the Mandarin version. The Mandarin version is gonna be exactly the same Molecule 01, but the main difference is now that you are gonna add some Mandarin on it. Let's do a simple test, right? Grab a Mandarin, peel it, and if you like it, what you're smelling, I'm gonna tell you that you are gonna love this one. Because what they have done here is, grab the synthetic molecule from E Super and then add all natural ingredients from the Mandarin itself and add it on here. This is a fragrance that it's like the weakest of all. Well, the original is the weakest, but from the new tree releasement, this is gonna be the weakest. This is a fragrance from the beginning. You can tell that it has this citrus part that come from Mandarin, but the main use that I will suggest you to use for this one is to use them with colognes, because this part of citrus of Mandarin is like almost that loud. For example, if you love Acqua di Parma colonias and you want to make them to last longer, because I do wish they last longer, what you're gonna do is you're gonna base your body with the 01 with Mandarin. Then 5 minutes later, you're gonna apply the Acqua di Parma cologne or any other cologne, in fact. This is a fragrance that everyone can use, either a young dude or even an adult man. It's a fragrance that I do recommend it as your daily beater, as well with the Iris one. This is a fragrance that with the price, I mean, it's a fragrance that it isn't like really expensive, but it isn't cheap. So with all of this lineup, I do recommend to trying them out first. But there's no doubt that you're gonna smell the Mandarin, the Iris, and the Patchouli versions. The main problem is gonna be with the original, the Molecule 01. Let's pass till the next one, and I'm doing it in the order that I most like it. And the next one is the Iris version. The Iris version is a fragrance that it doesn't smell like Prada L'Homme or Dior Homme. It's like more different type of iris. It's the type of iris that it's gonna be from the root. That's exactly the same. It's a fragrance that you can tell it has like this part of woody that comes from the as well ISO E Super, but you have this iris part. It's more like the root. It almost can remind you of dirt, but at some point it is going to remind you like the makeup feel that iris have. It's a fragrance that I do recommend it as your daily beater. I'll be honest, it's a fragrance that from the beginning I did like it. It's like, oh wow, it's a fragrance that I truly love, and since it was iris, I did layering with Dior Homme Original. But from these three, the iris version is a fragrance that if you're not gonna use any fragrance at all, I do recommend getting the iris. Or if you are gonna buy it, a fragrance from this house, and you don't know which to buy, I do recommend the iris version. And last but not least, we have Patchouli. This one is a fragrance that I truly love it, but it's a fragrance that it does have an age range. It's a fragrance that if you are 25 years old or older, it's a fragrance that I do recommend it as your daily beater. The patchouli that it has in here, don't speak like the old kind of barbershop patchouli, because it isn't that type. It's the same fragrance. You have this part of ISO E Super, but the main difference is that you have the oil from the patchouli that is completely natural in here. But I'll be honest, patchouli is my favorite note. It's a fragrance that is the one that I do recommend you the most, because the simple fact that there are more fragrances in this world that contains patchouli than iris or mandarin. You can use this, you can make a layering with Versace Dylan Blue, Acqua di Gio Profumo, and other fragrances that it has patchouli, and you want them to make it last longer. In case you're 25 or older, it's a fragrance that you can use as your daily beater. If you love patchouli, you're gonna love it. At some point of the fragrance, you can tell that it has something like chocolate vibes in it, but it isn't chocolate. It's just the patchouli doing its thing, right? But it's a fragrance that from all of these fragrances, I do recommend either getting the patchouli version or the normal version of it. Why? Because if you're gonna get the normal version, you're gonna expect this part of woody that it can be added to almost any fragrances, and it's gonna make it even delicious. But if you're a dude that has almost like blue fragrance type, I do recommend to get the patchouli version. And the main reason is because almost every goddamn blue fragrance have patchouli. So with more addition of patchouli, believe me, you're gonna make the fragrance even smoother. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoy. My name is Jose, so smell you later.